What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm actually doing my video that's after this one. So that's why you see me dressed in this stuff right now. But I do have to do my intro for this new one coming up. Guys, the tackle that we're going to be talking about in this one is going to be the BUZZBAIT. Now, if you can think of somebody who loves the BUZZBAIT, who do you think of? Alright guys, well on this Talkin Tackle, the guest that we're going to have is Mr. Lojo. All right, everybody. I know we're not live yet. I will make this live one of these times. I'm still getting new to this, but we have Mr. Lojo on the show. I am like fangirling in a sense, I guess you could say. I appreciate you getting on the show for me and doing this. But we were just chit-chatting before I started pressing record. So, but yeah, so how was Googan week? I know you just got done with that. How did that go?
Definitely the biggest one that I can remember. The most big fish caught in one Googan week. There was a lot of firsts, just like biggest, best, most intense. It's gonna start the year off right for sure.
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, it looked like it was a lot of fun. I was keeping track with the stories and stuff like that. So it looked like it was a lot of fun.
Everybody caught big bass, like in different scenarios for different videos.
Wow.
It was a crazy time. Like I don't want to too much, but I mean, just multiple, like 5 or 10 6+ pound bass. I mean, just wow. Like different water and just by different people. It was intense. It's gonna be some good content.
That's cool. When is it coming out? Do you know? Did they tell you?
The first episode, I'm sure, will probably go live the next couple weeks.
Okay.
But I mean, we filmed a ton of content too, probably like 10 to 12 videos. So
wow, it's
going on for a while.
That's cool. That's a lot of fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. When I keep track of them, I always think they seem like a lot of fun. It looks like you had a lot of guys there this time too. A lot of the pros, I think you had some. I know you had a few of them there this time.
Yeah, we had Chris Zaldane.
Yeah.
We had Mark Daniels Jr. We had DC, Dustin Connell, and Scott Martin was there, but he wasn't really a part of it, but he was there. Well, he helped us out some. Who else was there? Was there anybody else there?
I know that like you and AO and John, but as far as pros, I'm not sure those.
But yeah, Googans, everybody was there except for Flair, of course, because he spent some time with the family. And
family man.
Of course, yeah. And then Perrick is just, Perrick is doing his thing wherever he is.
Having a good time.
Yeah, but everybody else was pretty much there.
That's cool. All right. So with this Talkin Tackle that I'm doing now, I know that we talked a little bit and I've seen it in the videos and stuff like that when I've been following you. I know you love the BUZZBAIT. So we decided that was what we're going to get into tonight. So why do you love the BUZZBAIT so much? What about it makes you just want to use it and love it?
Well, you got to take it back to the beginning, Jay. Okay. So I didn't even learn bass fishing until 2015. So this was like way late in my life. I was like 27 or something.
I'm right there with you. I'm about to be 33 in May, so I'm totally right there with you.
Okay, there you go. So, when you start something that late, I don't know, I just got really into it, but one of the first artificial lures that I threw was a BUZZBAIT. And honestly, I had no idea how it even worked. And in the package, it just looked really weird. I had just heard some people talking about a BUZZBAIT. And at that time, I didn't know any names of any lures. So I was just like, I'm going to go find a BUZZBAIT in a store and throw it. Okay. And so I found a BUZZBAIT. I went out to a pond, which ended up being the pond that made me fall in love with bass fishing, by the way. I still fish it every now and again on the channel, not very much. And I remember my first, topwater blow up on that BUZZBAIT that day.
Those are intense.
Long, I didn't have a trailer on it. I was probably fishing it too fast, and it was the middle of the day. But it was a shallow pond. I got lucky, and like a 3-pounder just crushed it. And it was so exciting. but then, so right then and there, it got cemented, like, you know, as an exciting lure or something that I wanted to throw. But see, then when I caught the fishing bug and I wanted to learn more about bass fishing, so I started fishing all the time. Anytime I had free time, you know the feeling when you love fishing.
Yep. Anytime you can, you do it. It no matter the season.
Even if you have 30 minutes, you're just like, you know what? I'll walk on for a minute.
Yep.
So then I started using the BUZZBAIT more. And I started to learn like how to use the BUZZBAIT, you know, getting out there before the sun comes up or at night. What kind of trailers to use, you know, fishing it on braid. I started to learn all these little tricks. And then I started catching PBs. All right. So I caught my first PB ever, which was like a 5-pound something largemouth on a BUZZBAIT. Then I caught a 7-pound even largemouth, you know, like a year later on a BUZZBAIT. Then I caught my previous PB, which was 8 pounds, 6 ounces on a BUZZBAIT. And as you can see the trend going here.
Yeah.
Not only was it like a really exciting lure, it was something that was proven to catch bigger bass, at least to me, you know, because I had had that experience where I just kept catching big fish on BUZZBAITs. I used to believe just all topwater would catch big bass, but I think even now today, I feel like the BUZZBAIT just does something different to big bass. It just irritates them.
Something. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's their reaction to it. It just makes them bite, you know, even when they don't want to. So yeah, that's just a brief history of
I gotcha. That's cool.
But I've caught more big bass in my life, and big bass like 5 pounds or more. I've caught more big bass on a BUZZBAIT than I have probably all the other lures combined, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
This Googan, I caught another like a 5 on a BUZZBAIT. So it's just one of them lures, you know.
So when it comes to the BUZZBAIT, you know, we were talking about, you mentioned, you know, modifications and things like that. Do you do anything to it to make it, do you make it, you know, do you bend it in to make it clack and make more noise? You know, like, what do you do to modify it, or do you throw it right out of the package?
You know, it depends. I know everybody always says that, and it's super frustrating, but it does depend. I'll modify the hell out of it. I mean, I'll do whatever I think is going to help me, you know.
Right.
I mean, trailers, I keep it pretty simple. I just like a paddle tail swim bait, but I've thrown toads on. I've just broken pieces of worms off and put that on there. I mean, you know, I don't think you can go wrong with the trailer, but as far as modifying the actual wire and the bait, yeah, I do that a lot. You know, I'm always messing with the wire and the blade to make it like run straight or make it run slightly right, slightly left. I do bend the blade wire down to make it clack sometimes, like if it was really windy, or, you know, if it was really going to be hard for the bass to hit it.
Like bend it down like that and you make it clack, right? Yeah, I got a little setup back here. I want it to kind of be a little bit, I'm trying to do it. I had it that way. And it clacks it. Well, of course I can't do it while it's not going to want to do what I want it to do, but you know.
Yeah.
But
sure. Yeah, if it's super windy, I definitely, or if it's just really loud, you know, or if the water's really dirty, you know, if I'm trying to draw more attention, more noise, more vibration. But then again, you know, I've always been a big believer in making the BUZZBAIT kind of quiet. I like to bend it up and just let it chug in the water. And I don't want it to squeak or anything. I just want it to be just the water noise. That's kind of my preference, but I've certainly made it as loud as possible before, and it's worked. Have you ever seen these are old school. I don't think they make them that much anymore because they're kind of a pain. But have you ever seen the double bladed BUZZBAITs? Like the
you
one
know what's funny is I've heard of them, and no, I guess technically I have never seen one in person, but I've heard of them and I've seen it in videos, and I'm rather fascinated at it. It's like they're kind of just a little different. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure how. It's hard to believe that, you know, it's almost too much, it seems like, but I don't know. I don't know. I've never fished with one personally, so I don't know, but it seems like a lot. It really does.
Definitely. Do yourself a favor, go buy one just for the hell of it, because you're going to get a kick out of it. I mean, the reason why they don't make it anymore that much is because of what you just said. It's just kind of unnecessary. It's not, But I've caught some really good fish night fishing with those because they make
Yeah.
so much noise, and when they come, they wobble as they go across the water, so it's got like that sideways motion
Yeah,
too. So it's
yeah.
like walking on water. So that would be the only application that I could see it kind of doing well in is at night because it's just so damn loud.
Yeah.
When I was in my really big buzzbait phase, I mean, I was getting every buzzbait they made. So I had a few of those double bladed ones, and I just figured like a lot of the newer fishermen probably have never seen them. Not even like I've been fishing for that long, but just in the last year, they just phased it out. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the memories I have as a buzzbait lover, though.
Yeah, I'll have to get one of those. I've heard it, like I said, I heard about them and they were the most interesting. Like when I was, what I do is I'll do a lot of like, I'll watch a lot of videos on the specific rig or whatever. And I saw those come up and I was like, it just totally threw me through a loop. It really did. So I'll have to definitely get one. So you throw braid and that's like, what most people seem to throw. What pound braid do you use and why specifically that pound braid?
I throw anywhere either 30 or 50. I mean, if I'm fishing like a grass lake, definitely 50. If I'm just fishing a normal lake that might have some grass in it, I'll just do 30. Because 30 is a lot more castable,
Okay.
so I can really fire that thing down a grass line. So I prefer to use 30, but we all know, I mean, more is better, so
Yeah.
having that 50 pounds, it might be the difference in landing the fish or not, so maybe you can't cast as far, but you might have more confidence in the line holding up. And that's because I throw buzz baits at stuff that's you're going to get snagged in, what I mean?
Yeah.
Not grass. I mean, lay downs, big trees in the water. I definitely want to get a buzz bait around that stuff.
Yeah.
In between lily pads, docks, skipping up underneath docks with buzz baits. I've done that before, and just the kind of shallower docks and stuff, especially during like pre-spawn and stuff. Yeah, I used to use mono because mono is the other option you have. Because I used to use mono for a lot of topwater applications with treble hooks. Because the mono is a lot more forgiving. Mono stretches. It lets the treble hooks kind of do the work for you. So I used to use mono a lot, but for a single hook bait like a buzz bait with a thick hook, you need power.
You need the strength. I mean? Yep.
And a lot of times you don't need a good hook set with buzz baits. Another reason why I like them is because fish tend to hit them so hard, and the bait's already moving so fast. Normally the fish hook themselves pretty well.
Nice.
But I just like the fact that when they make contact and they're halfway hooked, and I lift up hard, that braid's got no stretch. So that hook is just boom, penetrating, and it's over, hopefully.
It's done. Yeah.
So that's the reason for the braid. It's just, it's more powerful. It can drive that hook better than anything else. So, and you don't have to worry about fish being line shy because the bait's moving so fast that they're not even going to see what it is, most likely. That's the beauty of it. Colors don't necessarily matter that much. I've said it a million times. I only own 2 buzz baits. I own white and black. That's it. Like I don't need anything else other than
that's what's
white.
up here. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I have one. This is black. I have that white, and then this is like a bluegill pattern over here because I do a lot of pond fishing. So I always tend to have that natural bluegill pattern in just about anything I fish. So
yeah, I was gonna say only other one that I would maybe throw would be a natural color, just like a bluegill, because it was really clear water pond that had grass. That could be an advantage, but I do think though people could get by with white or black. I mean, depending on what is what the forage is in that lake. I mean, it's a pretty easy decision to make. If it's low light, throw the black every single time. That's what I would tell people. Throw it every single time. In fact, let me tell you a quick story real quick. I wish I knew the guy's name, but I was reading this book. This is another reason why I love buzz baits. Okay. I'm just giving you all the evidence.
Oh, you're good. Go in the nitty gritty. I love it.
My wife got me this book a few years ago. Okay. And it was called A Statistical Approach to Bass Fishing. Okay. It's a pretty famous book. You can find it out there, on Amazon and stuff. But it just talks about all the different things that you can do to statistically increase your chances of catching more big fish. And it had a lot of information about this one guy in particular. And damn, I can't remember his name. I hate it. He's based out of the South, so he's not far from where I live. And he's on record and confirmed to have caught more than 1,000 10+ pound bass. That's right.
Wow.
A dude, over 1,000 10-pound largemouth bass.
Wow.
And he caught these fish primarily. So like 60 or 70% of them came at night with a black buzzbait. That's a fact. So what that guy theorized was, nighttime is better, which we all know that. It's the same thing with hunting. It's he kind of, they're more active at night, most of these animals. So, that's the first thing he theorized. The second thing he theorized was that these big bass, the bigger they are, the less they want to feed. They want one big meal or two big. They don't have the energy to swim around all day chasing food, right? Because they're freaking huge, you know? So that's that big loud meal, at night when they're more active. It was also during the summer. I forgot to say that. It was summertime at night.
Okay.
But so of course, some summertime bass, we know they're eating all night.
All night. Yeah.
There. So I would highly encourage people to do that with a buzz. If you don't want to use a buzzbait during the day, use it at night one time and tell me that it didn't catch a good fish out of your local pond. Because I'm telling you, I mean, it is deadly. In those
Gain some
scenarios.
confidence. So, go fish the buzzbait at night. Yeah. Okay.
But I read that book. It sold me completely on the buzzbait, even though I already was. That just like cemented it in my mind.
Right. That's cool. I'll have to look that up. I'll have to get that from you. I'll message and I'll get the information because that sounds cool. I might have to look into it, and I'll put it in the link so everybody else, whoever wants to get it, can get it too, because that's cool.
Yeah.
So do you have a specific kind of, rod that you have? I think in one of your videos you did use the muscle rod. That's the Googan rod. But, is there a specific kind of setup if you, the length and all that fun, good stuff?
I mean, I think the length of any rod's personal preference. You know what I mean? Like I'm a tall guy. I'm like 6'1", 6'2". I'm a big guy, so I like a 7'3" to 7'5". Like typically rod, maybe even 7'6". But with power, it just depends on where you're fishing. If you're fishing a grass lake, and I always use that example because I grew up in Florida. So people that have fished like Central Florida lakes or South Florida lakes, even North Florida lakes, I mean, it's just different. It's way different than any other lakes in the country. There's these grass mats, and it's just, if you can let the fish get in there, you might not ever get them out. So if you're fishing a grass lake, a heavy rod is what's going to be on every person's boat in a grass lake. If they're fishing near the grass, they're going to have heavy rods. But anywhere else, open water with just medium cover, a medium heavy rod's all you need. I think I rocked like a 7'3", like Abu Garcia Veritas 2.0 rod. Like I had a bunch of those, like medium heavy fast actions. They were like $100 at Walmart. Every Walmart had them. So,
and is the fast action important?
No, I don't think that. I don't think the action is nearly as important as people say it is, unless you're a tournament angler or unless you're like really serious about fishing. But I just feel like 85-90% of us are just like, just give me a rod that's going to help me land this fish and help me cast this. I like fast action. It's just a little bit of a softer tip. So that's just what I like. Some people may that. So like I said, that kind of stuff's personal preference and just kind of getting to know your equipment and tweaking those little things, but honestly, somebody could hand me a freaking, a medium power light rod and I'd still, just try to make it work
somehow.
Just have some fun and make it work.
Yeah. Any kind of specifics on a reel, or like, I know that most recommendations are a higher powered reel. So probably a 7-to-1 or higher, probably, I would think.
I would say the reel is almost more important with a buzzbait than the rod. Okay. Like I said, if you have a medium heavy or a heavy rod, nothing else matters. You're good. But with the reel, I would get the highest gear ratio that they have, honestly, because if you think about what the buzzbait is, you're already chucking and winding every single cast anyway. So you're going to be doing a lot of winding. So want it to go faster, so at least you can reel a little bit slower.
Yeah.
But also I like a higher gear ratio because it helps you get it up on top of the water faster. You know what I mean? In fact, I've gotten, I don't want to brag, but this is the only lure that I'm really confident in.
Yeah.
But I've gotten really good now where I can make a cast and I can start reeling before the lure even hits the water. And then so as soon as it hits the water, it's just already skiing.
Going.
So that's really, and I read that, in a magazine a long time ago about how a pro had that approach, some pro fishermen, and I started practicing it. So that's kind of how I do it now. So,
and so when you cast out, do you like thumb down first and then start reeling, or?
I don't even know what I do because I do it so much. It's one of those things. It's like when you write your phone number down, you don't even look at the paper. You're just like, because you know it, but you don't sometimes actually have to think about it. You're like, wait, what am I doing?
Right. I get that.
I think, I thought I make a long bomb cast, but yeah, I just start reeling. It's just an anticipation thing. I just start reeling while it's still in the air flying to get all that slack line out that's out there. That way, by the time it hits the water, your line's completely taut. And then you're just reeling, you know what I mean? So you're not having to reel real fast when you first cast.
Yeah.
It sinks, and it's kind of a pain that way. That's why whopper ploppers became so popular, because at least they float, you don't have to.
Yeah, they stay on top there. What's your favorite season, or like what favorite to least season? If you were to choose when to use the buzzbait, when's your favorite time of the year?
Well, probably fall. I know that's not really the sexy time of year. I know everybody loves spring, but fish are not quite hitting in the pre-spawn. They'll hit, reaction style lures like buzzbaits and stuff. But summertime at night is really good, or like early in the morning. We're talking about like sun coming
before
up.
The sun's up. Yeah,
just light enough to film. You know what I mean? Which is hard to do. But if you're not filming, just go out there at freaking night. You know what I mean? It's so effective in summertime. I swear. I hope that you or somebody tries it this year, and you're going to be because it's such a big clunky looking lure. You look at it and it's like, God, this doesn't look real at all.
It's a lot.
The beauty of it is that it doesn't matter what it looks like, because the bass is hearing it more than the bass is seeing it. Once again, that's why I don't put a lot of emphasis on colors, because it's all about getting it where that bass is, irritating them to react, so yeah.
That's cool. So but for the most part, you prefer to do it in fall. I didn't catch that.
I think it was my favorite. I think it's my favorite season because there's like a shad spawn going on, and fish are coming up and they're hitting bait like crazy. Okay.
Yeah. There it goes. It started moving again.
Horrible. Okay.
That's okay.
Is it good?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I like fall because there's so much bait. It seems like a white buzzbait in fall. It's just like the easiest way to get on the board first thing in the morning, get a fish in the boat or the kayak or whatever. Just get some confidence,
Yeah.
Other than fall, I would say early summer and getting up early or going out late, like at night, And then the dog days of summer, it's just tough to catch fish.
They're rough.
Even at night, because the water's just so but early summer, before the water gets stupid hot, yeah, that's my other favorite time.
Okay. Now, and you said with trailers in general, you keep that simple too. You typically just do like a paddle tail of some sort. Do you ever do a crawl? Like, is there ever a situation that'll call, for a crawl pattern, or is it just paddle tail?
I'm sure I've used everything at some point in time, there's going to be times where you don't have the exact lure you want. So you just kind of throw something on there that's going to kick or flap.
Yeah.
I've like bitten lures in half and like left half the backside on to give it like a little tail,
Yeah.
Caught fish with all those ways. But for me, I don't know why paddle tails got so instilled in my mind as like the right way to do it for me. But it was just what I put on there early on. And I had so much success the first few years of my fishing career throwing buzz baits with paddle tail swim baits. So now it's like so hard for me to like ever get, because I instilled so much confidence in it when I was just learning, I've seen guys, use all kinds of stuff. I mean, literally every plastic that exists. I've seen guys put Cincos on them. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about personal preference and what you have on hand. You know what I mean? I've
that makes
literally
sense.
every Googan bait as a trailer at some point in time, whether I've like cut it up with scissors or like bit half of it off or
modified it in some way.
Yeah, like if it like here's a good example. I did this like 2 days ago. So I was using, anytime I get a craw, right? Like if I'm using a craw as a trailer on a jig or something, and I get one of the claws bit off, then I'll take that craw off and put a new one on. But I'll take those craws with one claw, and you could use those as a trailer for a spinnerbait, for a chatterbait, a buzzbait, because with that one flapper on the craw, on the cracking craw, it's just like a little swimming tail. You know what I mean? So it's like a chunk trailer with a tail on it already. So, and I caught fish on it. I put it on a swim jig and made it into a swim jig with like one little swim tail, and I caught fish on it.
That's cool. That's cool.
I've used freaking anything, but the paddle tail swim bait seems to be the move. I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Like just the OG. I feel like that's a lot of people's confident plastic that they go on with the buzzbait, because essentially you're trying to imitate, something swimming anyway. You're not really trying to imitate a crawl. And like you said, though, on a whim, if that's all you got. I've taken an exopod before. I'm not sure if I've done it on a buzzbait. I think I have, but I'll take an exopod and I'll actually rig it sideways versus flat. So I'll make it look like where it has a couple of tails going this way. And I've done that before too, just because I didn't have a paddle tail on hand at the time. But I think I prefer paddle tails as well. I don't know buzzbaits as much as you do. Those are one of those rigs that I do want to get to know better. It's one of those. It's like you said, they're one that if you're gonna put it in your hand, you need to be like the only thing that you take and just get more confident in it. I feel like, and a lot of rigs are like that, because when you have it and you don't really know. I don't know how to put that. Like, it's just because it is such a awkward rig in general. When you look at it, you're really not sure how it works. If you don't throw it, you really got to get comfortable with it. You really do.
Yeah. Yeah.
What weight do you prefer? Is there a specific weight that you like better than others? Does that depend on the water you're fishing?
Yeah. I mean, I guess typical conventional wisdom would say, if you're in a small pond, you may want to use like a 3/8 ounce or even like a 1/4 ounce or something smaller, because it's more representative of smaller bait fish. I don't really subscribe to that. I'm just thinking like, give me that 1/2 ounce buzzbait so I can sling it all the way across the pond and cover the entire pond, a 1/2 ounce buzzbait with 30-pound braid. I mean, if you got that bait caster dialed, you should be able to cast that thing the entire spool. And then you add on like a saucy swimmer to it, that adds a couple more ounces of weight. So I mean, you got yourself a pretty, maybe not ounces, but like an ounce or something.
I thought the same thing. I was like, I don't know about that heavy, but a little bit more weight.
Maybe the giant saucy swimmer, like a few of them. Yeah, it's late at night, my brain.
It's all good. No, I'm right there with you. No worries. It's 10:30 where I am, so I'm an hour ahead of you.
What are the temps where you are right now? What are the temperatures, like water temps and air temps?
The water temps, I looked that up the other day. I think they're floating in the mid 40s right now. It's gonna be, so get this, on Thursday it's supposed to be up to 70, and the low is gonna be like in the 50s, which is like a random day, because every other day it's gonna be like in the 50s, and then the low is gonna be in the 30s, like in 20s. So it's just like a random day that it's going to be like that on Thursday. We're just getting some weird, like warm coming in for one day. But I'm going to try to go take advantage of it, because we got a storm that's supposed to come through, and I'm hoping it brings all the right goodness for some fish, because I haven't had any luck here lately. So we'll see what happens. It's been rough.
Well, I understand time of year is rough. It's like the dog days of summer, it's so hard to fish, and they go deep, they disappear, they hide in brush, Although, fun fact, the bass in my pond right now are kind of going hard. I don't know what the hell is going on, but we did. I'm giving you an exclusive right now. We just filmed a video fishing with Norm's channel in my pond. And I mean, we were using, I'm not going to say what it is, but we're using a very weird live bait. and we just hammered them. I mean, it was crazy. I couldn't believe that the bass were eating that live bait. But
is it because it may have been something different?
Yeah. Oh, it's something way different.
Yeah.
It's something that I've never done. So, yeah, it was good.
No
It's gonna be a
teaser
good
or
video.
anything, you know, that's fine. We don't, you know, we'll figure it out on Norm's channel, I guess.
Yeah, if it was my video, I would tell you, but it's
Totally.
not.
No.
So I don't want to ruin the buzz, but
No, that's good. That way you get more people coming to view it, because that's, you know, it's always, you know, the, what do they call that when you're just kind of the teaser, you know, like you said, kind of like teasing it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's cool though. I'm glad to hear that your pond's doing good, because it wasn't doing too good at one point. I remember when I was watching, I can't remember how long ago that was, but I know at one point it wasn't doing too hot.
It was earlier this year. And yeah, we had some fish dies and some big fish, which just kills you. Like, I had just stocked a 7.5 pounder in there.
Jeez.
And that fish died, you know, and it definitely died because we relocated it. So that killed me. You know, I got a spot for, you know, animals in general, you know, but if I'm trying to make a bass pond, you know, you just hate that. That just kills you.
Man.
It hurts a lot worse than a 2-pounder dying. Let's all admit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Thing. Had another like 4-pounder die. So it scared me. It definitely scared me. But, you know, we got the water tested. I think it was just a stress thing, because when I've been stocking recently, I've been doing it differently, and we've had better results. We haven't had as many fish. You know, there's always going to be fish dead, because we've got an otter that, you know, gets them. We've got eagles that fly around, or, you know, hawks and stuff that snatch. So, you know, there's a lot of predators out there anyways, but you definitely don't want them just dying of natural causes.
Right.
That's not what I want to see. But yeah, it's doing much better now. Thank God.
Good to hear it. So I'm trying to sit here and think, well, we went over the line, we went over the trailers. I'm trying to think. I know we could keep talking.
What is your experience with a buzzbait? Like, have you thrown it ever?
I have a few times. I have limited as far as catches, but that's because I don't put it in my hand often enough. I think I've only caught maybe 1 or 2 fish on it. I haven't been fishing for the longest, as far as, you know, like constant. I've only been really fishing maybe for a good couple of years or so at this point. And with that, I'm like a nerd about it. So I've learned all kinds of new rigs. So I feel like because I've learned a lot of rigs, I've limited my time with them in my actual hand, because I wanted to learn more of them. So I feel like this year I'm going to actually try to slow that down more and put a rig in my hand and keep it in my hand longer, you know, because a buzzbait's one of those ones. It's one I'd like to learn more, because it's one of the ones it looks funny. So people want to know more about it in general. So
it does. Looks freaking funny. It sounds funny.
Yeah.
It just looks fake. That was the first thing I thought when I saw it. I was like, Jesus, this thing is dumb as hell.
It's an interesting thing to throw. When I've thrown it, it's like I almost want to go fishing with somebody who knows how to fish with it better, to make sure I'm doing things right. Because when I fish it, it's just, maybe it's the lack of confidence and the lack of experience with it. You know, you can watch a video all day long on how to actually fish it, but when you get out there and you're doing it, you're like, I don't know, you know, there's like parts of it that I just got to learn to tweak and get better with.
Yeah. Well, what's been your like main struggle with the buzzbait? Like, what do you think's been your struggle with it?
Keeping it like in the right part of the water, like right on top. I get it to a point where it almost will get too high in the water column and it'll come flying over. Yeah. And I have that. I've noticed that's one of my issues, that like, if I do that a few times in a row, I just kind of like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'm reeling it too fast. I'm not sure what it is, but it always tends to come up too high in the water column and I'll pull it up over it. But it must be with my reeling. That's my guess. I'm not sure.
Maybe. I mean, the wire might need to be bent in some way. I mean, there's so many ways to tweak a buzzbait, you know?
Yeah.
But what do you have a brand preference?
Specifically, The one that I've used the most, honestly, is the Hummer. And that's just in general, that's the one I have the most experience with because it's one of the first ones. It's the first one I ever actually picked up. And so I guess that's one of those fallback confidence things. You know, it's the one I'm just more comfortable with. I have this one. Have you heard of Battle Baits before?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
They have one. I haven't actually used it though, but they have one right here. And it's interesting because it has the clacker here. So when it goes, you know, it'll hit the clacker, but then it also has a blade.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Right. So I like the profile of it. So I feel like this is going to be, and that's the one I have in that bluegill pattern. It's really, I like that color.
Kind of sick looking.
Right. I think it's pretty cool. I think Battle Baits may have one of those double bladed ones too. I think I haven't looked in a while, but I think they're the ones that had the double bladed ones when I was looking at them. And then I have,
from the looks of that one, I bet.
Huh?
I said from the looks of that one, they probably do make a double bladed one because that one looks crazy.
I think it was them. And then this one's Jinko, and they have it's basically like a little spring, you know, like a door stop behind your door.
Yeah,
you know, when you like play with it behind your door, that's basically what that is. And it's like a little knocker.
Oh, okay.
So, and then this is like a shad pattern. It has like gray and yellow in there. But I haven't actually fished. The funny part is I haven't actually really fished either one of those. And I don't know if it's just because I just usually have the Hummer in my bag. I don't know what, like I said, I think that falls back on the confidence that that's the first one I use. So it's just the easier for me to say yes to.
Let me give you another one. And I use Hummers all day too.
Also
with Hummers, have you had a problem with taking them out of the package? Do you get them? Can you get them to run straight?
I have a hard time with that. I really do. I have learned that. I have to tweak it quite a bit.
Yeah, let me give you. Well, yeah, I'm sure you've seen, but that was what I would say. I really like the Hummers, but for some reason they come like pre-bent like that. So it's not a design flaw. A lot of people when it first launched, they were like, God, you know, it's not running straight, blah, blah, blah. Because a lot of people don't understand that if you bend the wire, it runs whatever way you want it to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can bend the blade wire and the main bait wire, and you can get that thing to do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, so it does need a little bit of adjusting out of the package, which I'm trying. I'd love to get that fixed one day where it comes out of the package running straight.
That'd be nice.
Check this one out if you ever see it. I don't know if they make it anymore. A Strike King. It's called a Sugar Buzz. That one. Yeah, and try to get the free swinging one. So, you know, most buzz baits just have the solid wire, the little bend up in the blade. Mm-hmm. On these, they were actually free swinging. So the top part with the blade is fixed. But when you get down here, there's like a little split ring. And then the main body with the big head and the hook is just free floating.
I've seen those before.
I loved those. And here's why. Because the only way that fish is going to get away when you're fishing a normal buzzbait, a fixed wire buzzbait, he's going to get away because if it's a big fish, especially the power that they generate when they shake.
Your camera's kind of slow.
Oh God. Well, it's okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, it's just kind of funny. You're like, your lips are moving one, and then it's kind of like, okay. But it caught up to you now, I think. It's just, I get reception sucks.
This is what we have to deal with on the podcast when we have guests on. It's rough.
Like, welcome to Alabama, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, so I just found that the big fish have a harder time. They don't have as much leverage because the jig head that's stuck in their mouth, when they shake it, the rest of the rig isn't generating any energy, if that makes sense, because it's not fixed with the jig head with the hook. So it's harder for him to transfer, or her to transfer that energy and throw the hook. So I really liked that design. And for some reason, buzzbait people just don't make those. I don't understand why they don't make every buzzbait like that, because to me, it makes way more, and it allows the back of the bait to have more movement too in the water. It's not just fixed, you know, just running straight ahead.
That's why a lot of people will do a trailer hook too, right? In the sense of, well, it'll pick up that extra slack. But I mean, that trailer hook kind of is what you just explained. It's got its own little
Yeah.
freedom back there too. So I wonder if that has a lot to do with why the hookup ratio is also better with a trailer hook. Have you heard of I think it's 9K Elite Lures? I think they're a
I don't
smaller
know.
company, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they make a buzz bait that's like, I think it's a buzz bait. They have free hooks like that on one of their rigs. And
Yeah.
I never got one, but I remember looking on their website, and you explaining that reminded me. There's one that has that free hook. I know exactly what you're talking about. And it makes perfect sense on, if they grab it, it's not, they don't have that rest of that rig just kind of working for them or her,
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's exactly right.
yeah, that makes perfect
You
sense.
think if you've got tension on them with 50-pound braid, that's very tight tension
Yeah.
right there. So as they shake, the hook just goes with them. It's just moving with them. The rest of the rig is still tight, so you got tension, but he can wiggle. The hook can wiggle with him. Her,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
If it's a big bass, it's a her.
It's a her, right, right.
I always say him, but it's going to be a
I
her.
think that's like everybody's default.
Yeah, but I never understood why more companies didn't adopt that as like their main buzzbait design. I still to this day don't understand it. I'm hoping that I can make the Hummer like add an option for the Hummer at some point in the future.
That would be cool.
Just like a free swinging Hummer. I think it's a perfect name. It's perfectly explains. It's just it's not one wire. It's free swinging. So we'll see. There's a lot of exciting stuff in the Googan world that I've been helping with. So
that's exciting. I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. You see the lizard?
Yes, I have seen that. I'm excited to see it. I wish it were coming out a little bit sooner, not gonna lie, but
Well, it was kind of a last minute thing, I think. And I was begging them to make a lizard for like 2 years. And I finally, I don't know, it wasn't just me, I don't think, but I finally helped convince them, like, look, man, people love lizards in the South. They use them all the time, especially during the spawn. I mean, you can't find lizards in the stores when it's the spawn. So I was like, just make this and we'll show you, people will buy this in the South. So, but the design team knocked it out of the park. I mean,
it looks sick. It really does. I'm excited to see it and get it and try it out.
It's going to be great. Yeah. I'm so excited about that. But remind me, where are you located at?
I'm in Georgia.
Okay.
Like it's in a little area called Snellville, right outside of Snellville area.
Is that north, south, central?
It's more north, I guess. It's up. It's like right outside of Atlanta. It's probably I'm about an hour or so outside of Atlanta, maybe a little further out from Atlanta. So it's like up towards the north area more, I guess. Not too north, I guess. I'm not like, they wouldn't consider me central, but I'm not like way up in the mountains or anything either.
Yeah, I got you. You're just around Atlanta, like east of Atlanta. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a question. I didn't even think about it. Have you ever used a buzz toad?
Like just by itself?
Yeah, just without the skirt and, put the toad on there. The other, that's one of those other things a lot of people talk about, like a buzz toad.
I have. I'm going to say something really unpopular right now. I'm not a fan.
Why not?
It always depends. Like I hate it when people say that because it doesn't actually answer the question, but it does depend. It depends on what the hell the bass wants, Like if I pull up to a lake that I don't know or a pond that I don't know, and the people tell me, hey, buzz toads work here, I'm probably going to tie on a buzz toad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though I may not have my own confidence in that lure, I'm not going to try to beat the system. You know what I mean? I'm going to throw what the bass want at the end of the day. And how do you find that out? By trying different things, different places at different times of year. And that's how you learn. So, but in my experiences with just a buzz toad, no skirt, I don't know. I just prefer a buzzbait. I prefer a buzzbait with a skirt. I don't know. I've never been a fan.
Just a preference. Okay.
Yeah, it probably has the same effect over time, but I just personally just like the buzz bait with a more inline singular bait rather than something that's going to have two legs like this.
Okay.
Makes the profile wider. Like in my mind, it gives them more area to miss the hook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want all the meat of the trailer to be right there at the hook. I don't want it. I just want a little tail behind it. You know what I mean? And by the way, I wanted to say something about trailer hooks if we've got time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've also got a very unpopular opinion on trailer hooks, and I can't wait to tick some people off. But
that's fine. Yeah, let's go for it.
I, under no circumstance, will use a trailer hook. I will absolutely not ever use trailer hooks on buzz baits, spinner baits, chatter baits. And I've seen people do it. I've read it. I've read that the hookup ratios are better. To me, I don't buy it, man. I don't buy it.
Have you tried it? Because I've never actually tried it personally myself. I've never tried it. I'm willing to. I think I feel like I'm more in that opinion of I don't know. I just don't know if I have that I don't know status right now. I don't know.
Here's the thing. Okay. I've used them just as much as I've not used them. So I feel like I can speak with some type of knowledge on this subject. And it's my favorite lure. So when you use a single tail trailer, like a saucy swimmer, and you try to use a trailer hook, you can already see the problem here. You've got another hook back there where this tail is supposed to be flapping. So it's going to mess up the action of the trailer. Now, this would be a good opportunity to use a buzz toad because the tail, the feet might be on the outside.
Hold on. You got to have to redo that again. The reception's going out. Sorry.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. It was breaking up. Like I couldn't understand you there for a second when you said you want to use a buzz toad with a trailer.
Yeah, that's fine. So you might want to like fix that problem of the saucy swimmer by putting a toad on the back. That way the hook is in the middle of the flapping toad feet. But I don't like the effect that it has on the action of the trailer and the lure. Another thing it does is it adds another hook. It adds another couple inches of snag to a lure. I never want to increase my snag opportunities. I never want to increase the opportunities of picking up grass on a cast, like the sticky grass that you can't get off. So
that nasty stuff. I got you.
Yeah. So if you make a really good cast, but you're a little bit too deep in the grass, so you got that trailer hook on there. Now you're grabbing that grass. You got to redo your rig, and you may have already blown it because you may have already spooked that big bass out of there. I want to keep the rig as short as possible. I don't want to add hooks to a rig. You know what I mean? I don't want to lengthen what can hurt me.
I mean,
have I missed it? Have I missed some fish because of that? Absolutely. But my thing is, and I also have heard a lot of pros say this: when bass are eating the buzzbait, you don't need a trailer hook.
I've heard that.
When they're on that bite, they will hit that main hook, and they will hook themselves most of the time because they hit it so hard. And you're already reeling it. So there's already going to be tension there when they hit it. It's not like a hook set where the line is slack and then you have to power it in,
Right.
That's a completely different thing. The bait's already moving. They're hitting it on the move. So that hook is already going to be almost in. You just apply some hard pressure and that's in there. Once again, with the braid, that helps you with that.
Yeah.
But I've missed some fish. I know I have. I'm okay with that. I've caught my PB over and over and over again, never using trailer hooks.
There you go.
Yeah, it's more about the bites. Like if the bite's on, you got nothing to worry about. If you're fishing a tournament and you got to have those short strikers, then a trailer hook would be good. But I've just never found myself in that situation. But go ahead, you were going to say something about trailer hooks.
I was just going to say I totally get that because I'm a pond hopper. So like when it comes to a smaller profile, that's just like almost everything I go with is going to try to be on that smaller profile side of things because that's just, I deal with a lot of pressured water and then, the bluegill could get big, sure. But like at the same time, they tend to want that smaller profile in general on the pressured ponds, it seems like. So I understand that, as far as no extra, what for the length of the body, and you don't want it bulkier. I always try to make it a smaller profile. That's just what I always do. And I've heard what you've heard is that, if the bass are biting, then they will bite that main hook. So there's really no need for a trailer hook. I feel like that's a big reason why I haven't even tried a trailer hook. I've really heard like a divided on that one. There's people I know that like to use it. And then there's like, the same amount of people that don't like to use it. So I'm just I haven't used it myself.
It's
Say
very
again?
divided. Sure,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
very
yeah.
divided. I've read all the statistical stuff, because statistically it should increase your fish catches, but I'm just not willing to sacrifice the action, or the, like you said, not having that small profile. And I don't know any. I know a lot of serious fishermen. I never see anybody put a trailer hook on there, so it's just like, just feels like one of them things, like it could help you, like, especially if you're a beginner angler, because you're getting short strikes a lot on bait, or any top water, you get these short strikes, and they're so frustrating. I will tell you this though, and I will tell everybody watching, I've as far as like bass missing the bait, they don't miss buzz baits very often. Okay. Now here's what they miss. They miss frogs. I've seen them knock frogs straight up in the damn air and get nowhere close to hitting that thing. And it was just sitting there, barely moving. But for some reason, buzz baits, because it's moving so quick, their like predatory instincts are really keen, and they're really like in tune. That's why when they're
trigger.
That's why when they hit the buzz bait, they're not thinking about it. It's just pure reaction or instinct or irritation and anger.
Yeah.
But with like a frog or something else, you may not get that reaction. You're just getting bit because you're in the right place.
Right.
But way more bass miss frogs than buzz baits. And it's not even close. Like when they miss buzz baits, you just didn't hook them or whatever, but they almost never miss from my experience. So
good to know.
Yeah, I thought buzz bait over the frog any day. That's another unpopular opinion I have. But
I mean, I can totally get that. I've seen videos, and when it comes to a topwater preference, I again, with the pond situation, I deal with a lot of wood pilings, and I think about, okay, what can I throw that's going to be like less chance of getting snagged and less chance of, so with the buzzbait, it actually tends to be pretty weedless a lot of the times. You know what I mean? You can get it a lot, but there's a lot of other things that aren't weedless.
That's true.
Yeah.
And frogs, it's, it's unfair. That's an unfair comparison that I even made, because frogs are way different anyways. But that's another thing. You just said something that I love about buzz baits. They are, at least when I fish them, I don't know if I'm just really good at throwing that one lure, because I'm not good at throwing anything else. But I can put that thing where I want it, and I can get it unsnagged. I just never have to break off a buzz bait. You know what I mean?
That's cool. Yeah.
Through wood surprisingly good with that exposed hook, because the hook is behind the blade. You know what I mean? So, and the way that wire is shaped, it comes in and out of wood. It like bounces over logs, especially when you get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
You get close to a log that's just barely out of the water. You just speed it up a little bit, and it just jumps right over it. It's such a natural thing too, like for fish.
I will say, I don't think I've ever lost a buzzbait, personally. I don't actually think I've ever lost a buzzbait. So I will concur with that, because where I fish, I do fish a lot of places that you get snagged. I've lost plenty of lures in my day, as far as even in the 2 years I've been fishing, I feel like I've lost a lot, but a buzzbait is not one of them. So that, it's definitely more weedless.
Yeah, it's for sure. And even to this day, Jay, I'll be throwing the buzz bait on my boat or on the bank, and I'll get it in this bush or something, or like a tree, and I'll just, you just stay calm and just give it a little pop and start reeling. Just, it comes right out. I'll just be amazed sometimes how weedless a buzz bait is compared to almost any other lure, other than like a Texas rig or something where the hook isn't exposed at all.
Right.
For my money, the buzz bait, there's just something about it. It's just magical,
Yeah. That's why I wanted to talk about it with you. I knew the passion was there for it. It was the right rig to talk about. I like the passion. That's what you want,
100%.
Yeah.
That's literally the only lure on the planet that I am even somewhat qualified to talk about.
Well, then I picked the right one.
Yeah, you did. You absolutely did.
Oh, well, we have been talking for a little bit. I think we're getting close to an hour. Hopefully it still says it's recording, but it does have a limit on 45 minutes, unfortunately. I'm going to upgrade this eventually, so that way I can record however long I want. But
hell yeah.
I know you're tired. I'm tired too. It's 11 o'clock my time. So we're definitely going to be we're old. We're going to be going to bed here soon, I'm sure. So, but I've really appreciate this. I hope you know that I look forward to, building more of a friendship with you. I hope you know how grateful I am for this. I really do.
Yeah, my pleasure, Jay. I appreciate it. You know, you did great on that on the line series that we did with Catch Go.
Yeah, thank you.
I like the whole, tackle talk stuff. I think that's something that's not done enough, So
Education, I feel like, is key with fishing.
Oh, 100%. And that's why when you said you wanted to do a show about the buzzbait, I was like, well, hell, if somebody wants to talk to me about the buzzbait for an hour, I will certainly talk about the buzzbait for an hour.
That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. I really am. I want to get to the nitty gritty and all the, answer all the questions. That's the idea behind it. So, and it's good to get a professional, someone more experienced professional view. I don't have near as much as experience as you do. I really don't when it comes to the buzzbait. And I know that from watching your videos and stuff. You know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about when it comes to the buzzbait. So I really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you for having me. And you and whoever else is listening, watching, give the buzzbait a chance this year. Give it like a real chance. If you live in waters that it's appropriate for, obviously. But just give it a fair shake this year, and I bet you'll be shocked at least one or two times the kind of fish you might pull out with that thing, because a lot of times it can reveal them big fish.
Yeah, cool. Well, there you go. You heard it from Lojo himself. Everybody, I appreciate it. Everyone too for joining me. Lojo, thank you again, and we'll have to do it again sometime. We'll figure out another rig to talk about. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I have. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay, man.
That sounds good.
All right, I'll see you later.
All right, bye.
All right, guys, can y'all believe that? I had Mr. Lojo on the show. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Lojo. I appreciate it more than you know. And like I've been saying on my episodes, and I'm probably going to keep saying it, it's almost like I'm fangirling. I couldn't believe that. He's such a cool dude. I really appreciate it. We got to chit-chat a little bit afterwards, too, and, it's just going to be so much fun. I love this Talkin Tackle idea, guys. All the people that I'm going to get to meet, all the things I'm going to get to learn. It's just coming together. So, you guys know how it goes, right? We're out there fishing. We're out there catching. And we are out there talking to one of the Googans themselves. No complaints.
I'm gonna pop her.
Yeah, she's going to pop her head in right here, she said. Oh, she's still recording.
What's up?
This is my girlfriend. She's recovering.
Surgery life, but it's cool to meet you. It's cool to hear you.
It was elbow.
Elbow and wrist. Old injury when me and this brother of mine over here were doing stupid stuff on the trampoline. So finally got it fixed.
She had to get her funny bone nerve transplanted.
Transferred,
whatever you want. Yeah, transferred. It moved from the bottom of her elbow to the top. Now it's like it's in the divot here now, right here. It's weird. Yeah.
It's been a month.
She's gonna go upstairs and Cam's gonna pop his head in.
Y'all have fun. It's good to meet you, man.
And this is Cameron. This is her brother. He's my friend.
What's up, man? I just killed my back.
Yeah, he's an old man.
I'm tired. My back hurts.